What's up guys, D-Dogs Gaming back with another Destiny 2 video. Drop a like if you did enjoy this video, subscribe for more Destiny 2 content in the future, and comment down below any Crucible tips that you have for other players looking to improve in PvP, as well as what did you think about my tips that I gave. So in this video it's going to be a compilation of strategies and tips of how you can improve in Destiny 2 PvP, right? So this is going to be catered to new players that are new to Destiny, or if you are not that good, you're a Destiny 2 veteran, maybe you only play PvE and you're looking to improve in the other half of the game. This video was made for you guys. And before I start, please forgive my aim in the background footage. This was my first game playing any PlayStation in a week. School started the spring semester for college classes, and for the first week I was so busy I couldn't play at all. But I did, by some miracle, manage to drop a 50 bomb on my first game back using the Smuggler's Word and the beloved sniper rifle. I did make a video on this specific combination of sidearm and sniper that you can see on my channel, that goes in depth of how I use it and the playstyle for it. So getting right into it, so a little background on me is I've been playing Destiny since Destiny 1, year 1, but didn't get into Crucible sometime in the Taken King era, which was year 2 of Destiny 1, and I was really bad at it when I first started. I crutched on the one-hit kill abilities like sticky grenades, the what are they called? The fusion grenades or the flux grenades on the hunter, and I just kind of got bored and really wanted to improve. So I started watching better players play the game and keep an eye out for what they do in certain situations and practicing these tips that I'm going to give on my own free time. So the general gist of this video is going to go with mechanical skill, game sense, positioning, and vertical movement. And these right here are the core essentials to making a great player in no particular order. The additional thing I will add, which is generally not required but helps a lot, would be game knowledge, right? So for example, knowing good class and perk synergy, weapon stats, and TTK values, and how they all compare and interact with one another. So let's start with the mechanical skill, right? So good old aiming skills. This will most likely be most effectively practiced whilst playing live Crucible games and trying to focus on primary gunplay. However, there are things you can do to improve. First, find out how you best play FPS games. Which comes easier to you at first? Trace tracking a target with an auto or a pulse rifle? Perhaps rapid flick shots with a hand cannon or a sniper. Start with what comes natural to you at first, and when you feel your aiming skill is capping out with one particular style, keep at that style. Eventually though, you will reach a point where it comes second nature and you feel there isn't much room left for improvement. This is the time where you can begin swapping over to a different aiming style that you were not previously using, and begin to improve all over again. So how can you practice this out of an actual game? Well, you can start in private match and begin shooting at a chosen spot on a clear wall, gauge your recoil control and accuracy, then begin to add in some strafing, moving on, add some jumps while trying to be accurate. Lastly, grab a buddy who's willing to help you and is a better Crucible player than you are, and both of you guys face off with the same weapon, Wild West style. Choose an appropriate range to battle based on your agreed dueling weapon and try to kill each other whilst only allowing for side-to-side strafing. Overall, just start with your strengths and work on improving from there. So getting into the next category of what makes a great player in Crucible is game sense. This is a big one. In Destiny, where there's a radar and you can track enemy movements, game sense is huge. This is hard to explain the logistics on and comes mostly from lots of Crucible hours. But some of my tips would be to learn the map, make sure you know where all the choke points, the lanes, flanks, power positions, heavy ammo spawns, overtime flags that pertain to survival and elimination game modes, player spawns, and common rotations between all these areas are. Learn how and when to move through these areas based on your enemy's positioning. Learn how to escape based on their position. Learn how to put yourself in their shoes during a game and ask yourself, what would the enemy do based on their current situation? For example, what will the enemy do in survival on Widow's Court when you and your team are controlling the heavy spawn area? What likely path will they take to push into your team's area, or which lane or power position can they deny heavy ammo from, right? So if you're in the heavy spawn area on Widow's Court, they might be at the top of the large staircase, or they might wrap around to where the bridge is, that little sniping perch position, and try and get an angle on you and your team from there. Keep all this info in mind when formulating a defensive action. Engage in close quarters whilst always assuming your enemy has a shoddy, forcing you to rethink potential fuck-ups when you push. You don't want to push them assuming that they are going to be using their primary to battle you, because then right there you're just going to mess up and they're going to shotgun you in your face and embarrass you. When you're using when you're laning with a pulse or a scout rifle, always assume your enemy has a sniper. These are all small little nuances that you learn to incorporate into your gameplay over time, enhancing your split-second decision making as you improve. So getting on to the third category here would be positioning, right? So first and foremost, be considerate of the strengths your loadout has. Position yourself within the effective range of your weapons. If you're using a hand cannon and sniper, then don't engage at close range. Try to stay away at least 15 meters. Positioning goes hand in hand with the previous section, you can say, game sense, right? So essentially, if you practice good game awareness, this will in turn improve your positioning. So for team play, you're going to want to position yourself in such a way where you set up your allies for success while simultaneously setting up your opponents for failure. Focusing on the individual improvement here. Use head glitches, maybe odd angles on choke points, and you can guerrilla warfare, even hit and run tactics to discourage and or dismantle the opponent's fortifications on a position or split the enemy team. These are all things that can help you. Remember, in Crucible, you're playing against other humans who can make bad decisions, get frustrated, annoyed, and uncoordinated with your shenanigans that can potentially leave the enemy and their team vulnerable to a push by you and your allies. If you wish to practice positioning, I would say, a good way to practice it would be to go into quick play and using a melee only build, not a ranged melee, maybe a shoulder charge or something, and do this trying to get the best efficiency every time as much as you can, and that should help you with your positioning, knowing when to disengage and engage and set up. It'll help you practice in your mind setting up the engagement distances when you see red on your radar, before you just instead of running in there with your head cut off like a chicken. And the last thing would be vertical movement. So one of the key aspects that makes up Destiny PvP is this vertical movement. Get real comfortable on one character and their specific jumps. Engage from the air more frequently to get more comfortable with it. Bait doorways against opponents, especially if you have a shotgun. And jump around corners every once in a while. Even practice using a sidearm in Crucible. This will help you learn the ropes of playing vertically, because number one, they're accurate from the air, and two, you have to use your verticality pretty well in order to combat the shotgun apes in this special weapon dominated meta. And that's pretty much it. All these things that I discussed are what I can think of that differentiates an average player from great players. I know this can be a lot to take in, but for the sweats out there in the community, this is the kind of stuff that goes on in their head every second they play. The journey to improving is going to be tough, but well worth it in the end. It's going to take a lot of time and practice. It's combining all of these things that create those sweaty players you see in PvP, and I really hope that this helps any new players that are just coming into Destiny, maybe any new light players or veterans who are just looking to become a PvP god in the sandbox. I think it's more than attainable, And if you put your mind to it and consciously think about every decision that you make in Crucible, then it'll be well worth it. Also, knowing these tips that I just described is going to be beneficial to you for going back and rewatching gameplay. You know, when you go back and rewatch gameplay, you can see what you did correct and what the mistakes you made were, and how to learn from them moving forward in the future. That's it for the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Please remember to drop a like, subscribe, and comment down below. Peace out.